what's in your camera bag? This is something every photographer wants to know from every other photographer. So today we're going to dive into what's in my photography bag when it comes to shooting weddings. Hey guys, my name is Anthony Godinez, a wedding and portrait photographer, and on this channel I have weekly tutorials, tips and tricks, as well as viewer Q&As. So if you're new here and you want to take your photography further, consider subscribing. Alright guys, so before we jump into what's in my bag, I created a little stop motion animation clip showing everything that's in my bag coming out of it. It's my first time doing it. I think it's kind of cool. So go ahead and take a look at that. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed that little clip that I put together for you guys. Before I go into the equipment itself and the bag that I use, everything that I talk about in this video is going to be linked down below. In the description is going to be a link to my kit page. And basically my kit page has everything that I use, including the gear here, including other lighting gear that I use for other types of shoots, things of that nature, so check that out. Alright, so first things first, my camera bag. This is my camera bag by company Brevite. I believe they started on Kickstarter a while back. I recently found them and I love their bags. They have 3 bags out currently. This specifically is their roll top backpack. It's pretty dope. I really like it. It fits, as you can see in the video earlier, it fits everything that I take on a wedding day in this one bag. Alright, so cameras. I have 2 Nikon D750s. This one I change out with all my other lenses, and this one right here always has my Sigma 35 1.4 art lens attached. It's always on there. I never take it off. So my favorite lens so far. Now if you're a beginner and you're looking at my bag, don't think that you need to jump into 2 full frame cameras. When I first started, I started with this Nikon D5200 right here, and just worked my way up. So I only recently got a second camera body, so that's something I've been working towards for a while. So with those 2 cameras, I will carry them around the entire wedding day with me. And with that, as you saw in the video, my Holdfast Moneymaker gear. Again, this is something that I just got the other day along with my second camera body. Something I've been working towards. I've been wanting a dual setup on the wedding day for a while. Haven't used it at a wedding just yet. I will next weekend. But I walked around the house with it with both cameras, and it's extremely comfortable. When you put everything on here, it's pretty heavy, but once you put it on across your shoulders, it feels like nothing. Alright, so let's quickly jump into the lenses that I use. And the first one is my 50mm. This is a Nikon Nifty 50. It's a 50 1.8, one of the very first lenses that I bought. I use this almost entirely with a 35. Throughout the wedding day, engagements, bridals, or whatever it is, I use this lens right alongside the 35 for the most part. My next most used lens is the Sigma 24 1.4. I use this lens in different situations if I want to bring more of the environment in. If my 35 isn't just wide enough, I'll throw this on. Usually during like dancing shots during the reception, I'll walk around with a 24. Alright, so 85. This is the Nikon 85 1.8 lens. Outside of weddings, I use this lens a lot for portraits. When I'm doing stuff like using strobes or overpowering the sun, things of that nature, I'll use an 85. On a wedding day though, I don't use it that much. If I want to do anything artistic, I'll use the lens for like the Bernizer method, things of that nature. But on a wedding day, I'm mostly using it during the ceremony to get the kiss, to get in a little bit closer. When the groom or the bride is putting on the rings up at the altar. If I want some more candid shots walking around the venue, I'll put on the 85. That way I'm not too far and I'm not too close. It's a little difficult when you have a 35 or a 50 and you're trying to get candid shots of people. They'll kind of notice you, bring the camera up, and they'll like deer in the headlights look at you, or they'll shy away. So you can snipe people all day long with this lens and capture some candids without anybody ever really knowing. So I love the 85 for that. So that covers all the photo equipment. Now let's move into the lighting gear that I use. And for that I have 2 flashes. What do you mean, am I serious?
I'm so sorry.
Alright, so let's talk about the lighting gear that I take. I take 2 flashpoint speed lights. This one's a manual, this one is a full feature flash, TTL. They're both capable of doing high speed sync. I don't use TTL or high speed sync on the wedding day. I save all that for different shoots that doesn't involve couples or weddings, things of that nature. For the most part, I'm shooting natural light the entire day up until open dance floor. Now, if there's something going on during the reception, like first dance, and there's not enough ambient light, then I will use my flashes. I don't take light stands with me because I keep 2 to 3 light stands in my trunk at all times, so they're always there. So if I really need some off-camera lighting, I will run out and grab some light stands, set flashes up, and photograph that way. But generally, when it comes to open dance floor, I'll throw one on my camera and I'll walk around and flash that way. So as you can see, I have a MagMod grip on my flash, and we'll talk about how I use MagMod products during the wedding day. Alright, so for the most part, like I said, I'm using a flash on camera during certain situations on the wedding day, and when I do, I usually have MagMod products on my flash. This is the MagSphere. It's an omnidirectional light source that shoots light everywhere, so if I can bounce light, I'll bounce a little bit of light and push light that way to fill in shadows. When I'm walking around the dance floor, I'll straight just flash people this way. If I want to control my light a little bit more than what my flash will let me, then I use their Mag Grid product, which just goes right on the flash and right there. So everything attaches magnetically, and it's really awesome. Another thing that I have that I use if I want to match all my light sources, so ambient and my flash, if I want to make those 2 light sources match, then I'll take this off and I'll put on a gel, and then I'll flash that way. So now all my light matches, and if I want to throw a grid on, I just pop that on there as well. So the next MagMod product that I use is the Mag Bounce. So basically, if I'm walking around with a MagSphere and I'm doing dancing shots, and the bride and groom come up to me and say, hey, can you do a group photo with me and my 5 cousins? I'll say, sure. I'll rip the sphere off, I'll throw the Mag Bounce on, go on over to where we're taking the photo and use the Mag Bounce. So essentially, this is like an umbrella on your camera or on your flash. It's going to throw light evenly everywhere. It's not as diffused as the sphere, but it gives a little bit more diffusion, so it's definitely better than just bare bulbing at everybody. Depending on your relation height-wise to the group that you're shooting, you can get some cool butterfly lighting underneath the nose, add a little dimension to the photo. But generally, this is what I use. Also, if I do happen to throw my lights on a light stand off camera, then I will use a Mag Bounce. Like I said, it acts just like an umbrella, especially when you're 6 to 8 feet away from your subject. You can't tell the difference between a Mag Bounce and an umbrella, so this is perfect for that. Also, another cool thing with the Mag Bounce, especially if you're shooting weddings like I am in West Texas, it doubles great as a fan. Alright, so let's move from the lighting gear to everything else I have. I have 3 pouches in my bag. The first one, nothing too exciting, is just the pouch that I use to carry my batteries. The second one is a cleaning pouch, so I have like the little air duster that you get whenever you buy anything camera related, like on Amazon or eBay, that comes with just about everything. The little lens pin, microfiber cloth, and all the lens caps and body caps that I take off, I put in here because I'm always losing those, so that's great to have. Alright, so my last pouch is my special effect, well, one of my special effects bags. Before I get into that, one of the things I do have in here is a light meter. This light meter in particular is not sold anymore. You can find it used, but I don't think you're going to be able to pick this up brand new anymore. So I use this in like tricky lighting situations, if I want to get my shot really quick, if I'm doing off-camera lighting for whatever reason, and I don't want to take like 2, 3, 4, 5 test shots. I'll use this to help me get to the shot a lot faster, so this is great to have. Alright, so my special effects stuff, one of my favorite things to use is this little LED light string that I have. This is perfect for if you're doing couples photos, or if you're doing the first dance and there's no sun, like say you're doing like sunset photos, and the sun just isn't coming out, it's hiding behind clouds or something. This is great to mimic a sun flare. If you do have a sun flare coming in the image, this is great to enhance that sun flare. If you want to warm up the image a little bit, you can throw this in front of the camera and it'll give you some great warm tones overall. You can hold it in close or further away depending on how close or how far you hold it. Gives you different effects, which will make it more noticeable, and then the closer you hold it will kind of blend it in a little bit more and it won't be so noticeable. Depending on how you use it, it's all up to you. So this is something really great to have. I have two of these. I have one that I haven't even opened yet, and then I do have like a little pack of the C-cell batteries or whatever in case it ever goes out. So that's what I have. That's my LED string light. I really enjoy. You pick these up on Amazon pretty cheaply. Alright, so the next thing I have in my special effects bag is this copper tube. This is really cool because it gives you a really unique sun flare. If you want to learn more about this, go on to Google, type in SLR Lounge Ring of Fire, or you can just type in Ring of Fire sun flare. There's tons of articles, tons of examples of how to use this, and one thing you'll learn from what everyone says is it's not that easy. You have to work for your sunflower when it comes to this, but essentially you hold this up to the lens and you allow the sunlight to hit inside and bounce around, and it gives you a really cool flare. Different sizes of tubing, different types of metal tubing, so like aluminum will probably give you like a more silver flare, where this is going to give you a more like orange and red flare. It's really cool. So don't think when you get one of these, if you can't get the sun flare, that it's not working for you. You just have to work with it. You have to be patient. It's not as simple as just holding it up and shoot. Again, just like with any flare, you got to make sure you have sunlight coming into the lens, and you can use this to catch that and give you something really cool. So my last bag of goodies is my Magmod pouch, which I hold all my prisms. I'm only going to talk about my favorite one because I think we all know what prisms are, but this is the prism that I use, and I use this different situations if I want to block distractions or if I want to bring in like an interesting element into the frame. So for example, say you're in a getting ready room and there's a distraction in the frame somewhere. Say you're shooting speeches and you have the DJ in the background doing his like DJ thing. Maybe he's got speakers up, weird light stands or something, or maybe you have a light stand and you want to catch the light in your prism. So for example, this is a distraction kind of. You can hold the prism up to the side and you can block the distraction while simultaneously bringing in an interesting element into the frame. So one thing you can use to cover up, I like to use it at the bottom of my lens, and I like to use it on the sides. If you have a shoot coming up and you don't have enough time to grab a prism off of Amazon or Hobby Lobby or something like that, you can grab your cell phone and it'll give you a similar effect, especially if you use it on the bottom. It'll give you something really cool to reflect around. So your cell phone is something you can use in a pinch for a similar effect. Alright, so one of the last little things I have is this little light right here. It's perfect to keep in the bottom of my bag, and then when I need an extra light source, if it's too dark wherever I'm at, I just turn it on and I can see what I'm grabbing and what I'm putting back, and make sure I don't drop anything around my bag and things of that nature. So this is something that could save you in the middle of the dark, so grab a light if you can. Alright, before I talk about this last piece of equipment that I have, I want to talk about getting your couples comfortable in front of the camera. The reason why I want to talk about this is because the last piece of gear that I'm going to show you guys is something that I use to enhance my process. So I already have a process in place that gets my couples or my subjects comfortable in front of the camera. I highly recommend that you have one before you try to bring anything else in to help that situation. So if you're not comfortable with getting people comfortable in front of the camera, and you bring in something like what I have, and what I have is a Bluetooth speaker, so I play music. That helps, that enhances my process. If you don't have a process and you don't have a way to make people comfortable and all you do is play music, then all you have is like awkward moments with music. If you forget your speaker, or if something doesn't work, then you don't have anything to fall back on. So I use this to enhance. I don't rely on this, and I recommend you don't rely on anything else to make people comfortable. Learn to make them comfortable before bringing in a speaker, and then you can bring in a speaker after you've perfected that, and then this would only help make them even more comfortable. Alright guys, so that's everything in my bag that I use on a wedding day. Again, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to see everything item by item, check the description down below for the link to my kit page. It'll break everything down that I use, not just weddings, but for portraits, editing, my off-camera lighting equipment, all that good stuff is linked down below. Also, if you enjoy the video, give it a like, consider subscribing, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, showcasing and showing me what you use in your bag, what's in your bag, the equipment that you use, how you use it, what you use it for. Consider making a video reply to this video. I would love to see it. I'm sure everybody else will. And until next time guys, I'll see you in the next video.